The Crocus City Hall terror attack in Moscow was an obvious Russian false flag attack meant to unite the Russian people behind Putin in his genocidal campaign against Ukraine and the West. The United States warned Putin that a terrorist attack was imminent and that it would likely occur at a concert. Putin absurdly called the American warning a threat. If Putin genuinely believed that Russians were under threat from America, why didn't Putin respond to the alleged threat and provide reasonable and appropriate security at Russian concerts? At the very least, Putin is guilty of criminal negligence and letting the terror attack happen on purpose. What is far more likely is that the Crocus City Hall attack was instead a Russian false flag attack planned by Putin. Putin has been committing and plotting false flag terrorist attacks his entire career as dictatorial leader of Russia, including the Moscow apartment bombings in 1999, Moscow theater hostage crisis in 2002, the Beslan school siege in 2004, Ukraine in 2022, and now at the Crocus City Hall attack. Russians and their fifth column in the West point out that ISIS often attacks enemies of America and has been supported by Israel, but leave out the damning fact that Putin created ISIS as a pretext for his global war on terror and has flown tens of thousands of ISIS terrorists from Chechnya and other Soviet republics to Syria and elsewhere to wreak havoc and create a pretext for Putin to intervene militarily. ISIS attacks Russia and its allies to provide Russia and its allies with a pretext to conduct military operations they could not otherwise justify and to solidify the nation behind Putin and his allied leaders. That is how false flag terrorism works. If ISIS did not attack Russia, then Russia would lack the pretext it desires for its military aggression. So it is to be expected that Russia's crew of fake terrorists attack Russia and other enemies of the United States. That is their role. Israel supports ISIS because Israel is an ally of Russia against the United States and wants to draw America into self-consuming, endless conflicts, as well as to sponsor Russia's and its own role in destroying Syria, Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Lebanon, and several other nations. They are also scripting the prophesied war of Gog and Magog. The primary target is America, and the Israeli-Russian axis utilizes its fifth column of American traitors in media and politics to serve as a megaphone amplifying Putin's propaganda, which scapegoats America and the CIA for all the crimes of the Russians. They echo Russian Jew Vladimir Solovyov's propaganda against the West. The sequence of events in the Crocus City Hall attack all point to a Russian false flag attack. Putin mischaracterized the very specific American warning that the attack was imminent. Putin called the warning a threat, but failed to respond to the supposed threat and protect the Russian public by providing adequate security at concert events. Even minimal precautions, including snipers and security forces, would have prevented the attack or ended it very quickly before the terrorists were even able to enter the building. Putin then let the terrorists complete their task and delayed the police response until the terrorists were through with their work. He then allowed them to escape, knowing they would head towards Ukraine as they were instructed to do. This provided Putin with a bogus excuse to absurdly scapegoat Ukraine for his false flag operation. Numerous other Russian security and response failures all point to the fact that this was a Russian false flag operation. In addition, the scripted response from Putin's fifth column of propagandists in the West, all speaking in chorus to scapegoat America and the CIA for Putin's crimes against the Russian people, is further proof that this was a Russian false flag attack. These same full-time and well-paid Kremlin advocates manufacture any excuse to create the impression that America has engaged in false flag attacks, but lie about events in the Crocus City Hall attack to hide the obvious fact that Russia was behind it. Why did they betray their own national interests in favor of a genocidal foreign enemy which openly threatens to kill all Americans with a nuclear weapons attack? Why do they claim everything as a false flag attack, but never ever point the finger at Putin and Russia, despite the overwhelming factual evidence proving they are responsible?